Hi, everyone, and welcome to our campfire conversations with the authors of Inspired Creators. I'm just so excited to create this episode or this journey, this what is it called? An episode, a sequence for you where we're getting to know, giving you the opportunity to get to know all of the contributors to this incredible book with the subtitle Embracing the Magic of Your Soul Mission. So there's so much wisdom in this book, so much inspiration. And yeah, today I've got with me Soochen Low. She is a creative power business alchemist and the founder of Happy.Positive.Successful. She's also an international #1 best-selling author and a keynote speaker. And I'll let you share, Soochen, who you're working with and who you're serving with and through your soul purpose.
Oh, thank you, Krystal. So lovely to be chatting with you again, because this is the second collaboration book we're working on together. So lovely to have this chat with you. So what I do as a creative power business alchemist, I help creative coaches and entrepreneurs, and in particular, female leaders in that realm. They may be transformation experts or healers. And what we do is we work together to grow their business to consistent 10K months. Without the struggle, without people pleasing or having to prove themselves over and over again. And how we do that is we harness their creativity to build business structures that are very supportive and very customized to their unique genius, so that ultimately they can own their unique creative power, be in control of their income, their life, and their destiny.
Just sounds so amazing when you say that. I mean, I've heard you say it so many times, but every single time I was like, yes, that feels like, I can just drop into who I am and it's all just going to happen. Because, yeah, I know so many entrepreneurs who really struggle with that piece of not doing a copy of somebody else's business, but really coming into that authentic, soul-driven way of being, and then everything just opens up when we discover what that is. And I know that you've got some incredible intuitive gifts, and that really help you to kind of see somebody and see your clients in a very powerful way that can help you achieve exactly that.
Yes, absolutely. It is the work that I'm my soul mission work. And then now it's kind of evolved into a legacy, which, I'm so grateful for. But obviously my life journey in a way has, I guess, inspired that. Hence, the magic of my soul mission. That's why it called me to work with you in this second book, because after the first one, I felt like, well, there's much more to share. So hence we are here again.
Exactly. And you know what I love about these multi-author books and you coming back is that each time we kind of open a different window into into who you are. Like if you were a house, like that metaphor, you're the house, and we just open a different window, we look into a different room, and because we're such complex, beautiful people, and there are so many stories, and each multi-author book really looks at the life of the contributors through the lens of the title of the book. So in this case, very much it's about this soul purpose and our mission and how we create our lives. And with Inspired Living, it was kind of a little bit more general, but how do we tap into that inspiration and create that spark in our lives? So yeah, they're definitely different angles and different stories to be shared. And you mentioned why you've come back, because life happened and there was more to share and more to discover, and you've been having to dig deeper but also uncover a lot more gems. So what is it that you're sharing in this chapter?
Yes. So in the first work that we did together, which was Inspired Living, my chapter was called From Servant Girl to Sovereign Queen. And a lot of my clients who read it and, friends and family who read it, they were kind of in a way wanting to find out, what's part 2? Like once you're from a servant girl and you're finally in your power as a queen, what's life like? It's often very much like, well, is it happy ever after, or what happens, And so that really spoke to me to find out that, well, readers really want to know, when you're at the queen, which is really what I talk about with my clients, in that unique creative power, how do you continue to be that? And certainly what happens? Is it all magic and rainbows, or, you know, what really happens? So that really called to me, and obviously the readers inspired me to speak to that. And hence, you know, when you opened up this second book, I thought, there's a message here that I really want to speak to, which is really the whole creation process. Yes.
I love that. Absolutely. Yeah. Now you're making us curious. What happens when you kind of get there, when you get into your empowerment? Is it all, as you said, is it always rosy, or what happens? And we're going to leave that like a little bit of a mystery, I feel, and let the readers purchase the book, which is coming live on the 11th of November. And we will post all the links, of course, below. They might already be here, so you'll definitely know. Actually, I'll share the link with you right now, where you can jump on the waiting list to be sure to get notified when and where to purchase the book on the 11th of November. So it's krystalhille.org, and you've got my name here, Krystal Hille with an E.org, and then it's by-book-inspired-creators. And we'll put it somewhere in writing as well, but I just wanted to mention it, so it's here. And now I would love you to read a little excerpt of your chapter, imagining that we're all sitting around a campfire right now, and a fire is crackling, and we're listening to your story. So go ahead and share with us a little excerpt of your chapter.
All right. So the year I crowned myself the NonLinear Queen of Magic and Abundance, I took a sabbatical from my life. I left my 10-year marriage, walked away from the crowd, and for the first time relished the freedom, power, and deliciousness of walking alone, filled with euphoria and bliss, that I now have creative power, magic, wealth and abundance, values, soul mission, and legacy as my divine companions.
Beautiful. So these divine companions, how do they show up in your everyday life? How do you work with them?
Yes. So these divine companions, you know, which is what we speak about a lot as entrepreneurs, or even as women leaders in our life. I find that when we talk as women community, we are all aspiring to have these elements in our life. So, you know, I spoke of creative power, wealth and abundance, values, soul mission, and legacy. And they have been, in a way, visions or goalposts for me in my life. You know, I was always working to have them. And funnily enough, it was like I thought I had to tick boxes to get there. You know, it was always, well, if I kind of had the 10K months, then I'll be called wealthy. Or maybe if I get to 7 figures, I will. It's always about ticking boxes. But what I discovered on my journey, and which is really what talks about in this second chapter, is when I stepped into my creative power, or in a way crowned myself to say, you know, I'm not waiting for anybody to say, okay, here you go, now it's time. When I crowned myself and say, no, I am it, and I'm not going to wait for anybody else to do that. And when I stepped into that, that's when everything flowed in, and I actually stopped having to tick boxes. That's really almost very counterintuitive, because a lot of women that I speak to, they're saying, I just feel like I've this long list that never ends. You know, after I tick a few more, it's like more grow out of that. And I guess what I'm talking about chapter is that, well, it's an end to all of that. And when you step into your creative power, it's just such a load off that, oh my God, it's like I don't have to tick those boxes, and I get everything that I've been waiting for, or I've been looking for all my life. And it really came showered over me overnight when I came into that. So yeah, so these are the divine companions that I felt was a gift from the universe, being me connected to my soul mission and really coming home to me. And that's really the magic and abundance that I was speaking of in the chapter.
Yes, and I love how you're actually having conversations with these creative powers in your chapter, and just letting us into your world and how you're communicating and how you're living. So yeah, I highly recommend anybody listening to reading your chapter and getting your insights into your soul mission and how we can live from this beautiful place where, yes, we might have these 10K months, or we might not quite be there yet, but we can still tap into this alignment, can't we?
Yes, absolutely.
And the abundance and the money kind of just follows once we kind of make that shift.
Absolutely. And I think it also speaks, because obviously my clients, I think many of our audiences of our books, they are healers, leaders who are more evolved on perhaps their spiritual awakening or on their evolution, that many of them have their own creative processes, but perhaps some part of them still in a way are hiding that or shying away from sharing that. So in a way, in this chapter, I've in a way come out, so to speak, to give other leaders the space to say, look, I'm sharing it internationally. It's safe. Not only is it safe, it's a powerful place to be, because it inspires all other leaders to come out too, so that we together, this is the elevated humanity that I think we are all working to see. Yeah.
I love that. Exactly. It's by living by example and boldly and powerfully and courageously sharing your message and your truth. So to give others permission to do the same. And really, that's what we're saying. Like embracing the magic of our soul mission is just that, isn't it? It's to boldly share our truth, how we're feeling, what our values are, and choose how we want to live and how we want to create our lives.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We're modeling that for the reader, providing inspiration and even, the activation for them to step into that as well.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So how have you been finding the process this time around? It's your second time. How was it for you again coming into a book process or book project like this?
Yes. So, in the first round, I mentioned, Krystal, that you are such a, I guess, such a great, what's the word? A conduit or facilitator, a holding space for all of us as authors or contributors to share our message. And again, I find, it's the same, it's the similar process. You're still doing the same, which is so lovely, because, even though it's a second time around, there's always going to be slight hesitations of us, sharing what we want to say. And even though I have more experience now, and I think you've given me courage to go, okay, well, Krystal said this the first round, so let's go for it. You know what I mean? So therefore, I think I just love being still in that space. And obviously with the other authors, we see different leaders in their different stages. And it's just so lovely to say that, well, we are all in a community and we are all in a way emboldened again, to say we've got each other's back. Krystal's got our back, let's all do this and share this beautiful message. So I think on the back end process, as an author creating it, there is power in that, in being united. And I think then that unity then spreads to everybody to kind of call for unity, to say, let's all stand and rise together. So I think that feeling of being united with you, I think that really gave me huge power to, really get to the end of the whole chapter and share everything. Hence I think this chapter, I'm not sure how you felt about it, Krystal. I have felt that it's even more revealing. And certainly I felt more able to be even more vulnerable and feel okay about it. I'm actually happy to do it this time. First round, you had to kind of push me a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree. You're really, and what you're really bringing your very unique voice into your chapter. And it's just so beautiful to seeing all these different unique voices coming together but essentially sharing a similar message.
Yes.
But through very different stories and in a very different way. And I really love what you're saying, and that being part of a collaborative book really is like what we're doing in a collaborative book is like the microcosm for what we're creating in the world at large. Yes. So we are practicing collaboration, we're practicing all of these beautiful things that, and to know that together we're stronger. As you said, it's really powerful when we're first coming out of the old ways of being, where we feel like we have to tick the boxes, as you said, and fulfill certain roles or fit into certain roles, to say, no, this is no longer working for me. It's giving me adrenal fatigue or whatever it might be. It's making me sick. I need to just be who I am and show up as that. And to do that in a safe container like this, and just writing one chapter rather than just doing the full book straight away, I think is a really beautiful way to also help the nervous system get acclimatized and accustomed to this new way of being and living and showing up in the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
So thank you for really highlighting that.
Yeah, no, my pleasure. And, you know, in a way, for authors who, for leaders who may have a message and maybe are kind of on that borderline, should I do it, should I not? It's like I guess it's almost like you have the advantage of a completed book, but not having to do the whole thing on your own. You know, if this is your first rodeo, so to speak, like you've got other leaders helping out with the message. And because there's so much dimension to everybody's story, it's just well-rounded piece of work. And then you don't have to feel like, oh my God, I've got to do it all. And I think that's really beautiful. Yeah.
Absolutely. I love that. Soochen, how can people find you? Actually, before I ask that, I ask every author in the books to give a free offer to our readers, and I know you have some incredible, not just one but two. So just share a little bit about that to further entice our listeners to really want to get this book on 11th of November.
Sure. So the first gift is a masterclass video that I've created, and this really helps you know, any entrepreneur who is looking to, I guess, know how to harness their creative power in the way that showcases or comes to light in their business and in their life. So what I've found with creative coaches, entrepreneurs, because we have this ability to access or download this power from source, a lot of our challenges is we've got so many ideas, we want to do everything all at once, and then obviously when we struggle with that in terms of time variables or capacity variables, we feel almost all or nothing. So this is a video that really helps you to say, well, where is your creative power? Where is that flag you need to plant so that you can stand for something and then harness that creative power from the multi-D into a way that will show up in your business and in your life that is manageable, that is full of flow, full of ease, full of abundance, but really showcases who you are so that you don't need to, you know, be a copy of somebody else. And it feels so, I guess, delicious to be in your space because, you know, nobody has done it. It's you, and it's like you're just being yourself. So that's really what that masterclass video is all about, helping coaches or entrepreneurs to, you know, have insights to that. And the second gift is to invite them to come with me on a collaboration call. I mean, generally we call this a monetize your creative strategy call, but I like it to more be a collaboration between leaders. So this is about you connecting with me and we having a chat to just say, look, Soochen, perhaps I've read your book, I've watched the video, and there's just something I want to chat with you about. And we come together and we see where that takes us. You know, if we see it's a good fit that we need to dig deeper and delve further, obviously we will. But if not, at least it's just an opportunity to have a high leadership chat. I mean, often we don't have that opportunity to come with, you know, energetical vibe people. You know, it's like, it's hard to come to that meeting point. And if we feel a resonance with someone, I always say, well, let's just have a chat. You know, there's no obligation to have to do anything, but just having that chat, at least it fulfills your soul to feel that there's somebody out there like you who feels the same or maybe going through the same struggles as you. It's just even that. So I invite people who resonate with me through our interview today, our chat today, Krystal, to just be curious, follow the curiosity, the nudge, and let's just have a chat. Yeah.
Exactly. That's beautiful. Yeah, just follow the curiosity, and it usually takes you to that next step that you need to take, whether that's coming into coaching or whether that's just that little inspiration. So yeah, absolutely beautiful. So in closing, just sharing once again that Inspired Creators is launching on November the 11th. And the link to purchase the book is krystalhille.org/buy-book-inspired-creators. So it's actually quite easy. Buy book Inspired Creators. So we'd love to have your support. We'd love to inspire you. We'd love to hear your feedback. And yes, as we said, just get in touch with us. Join us in the Facebook group where we're going to show up on the day and engage in conversations all around soul purpose and those next steps, where you can get all of your questions answered from the authors, and of course also book those free chats and get the masterclass that Soochen described. Soochen, thank you so much for being here once again. It's always a pleasure. I always love talking to you and creating that higher vibe and the vision for an amazing future for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you.